So when we're ordering fractions, we can kind of use the idea of a common denominator and kind of like a visual example of visual kind of representation of that fraction. So this question right here is order from biggest to smallest: 1/2, 4/6, 7/12, and 3/6. So what I can do here is I'm going to color in this 1/2 here. Okay, so this is my 1/2. This is going to be my 4/6. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4/6. I'm going to color in 7/12. 7/12. And then this one is going to be 3/6. Okay, so 1, 2. Just by looking at them, I can see that my biggest one is going to be 4/6. Then my next biggest one is going to be 7/12, and then I have these two right here as the exact same. Okay, they 1/2 and 3/6 is the exact same. But what happens if I split them all into lowest common denominators? Okay, so what I can do is I can cut this circle into the exact same amount as other ones. So this one, what I mean by that is this one right here is cut into 6, okay? But my biggest denominator is actually 12, and if I cut each one of these in half, I actually create a pie with 12 pieces. So instead of 3/6, this is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's going to be 6/12. This one right here is 7/12. I don't have to worry about cutting it up because it's already into 12ths. I right away, just by looking, 7/12 and is bigger than 6/12. This one right here is the same. I have 6 pieces, but if I divide each one of those 6 pieces in half, I'm going to get not 4/6, but I'm going to get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8/12. I know right away, look, this is the biggest one because I have 8/12 here and I just have 7/12 there. Another way that we can just very easily get to common denominators: 6, if I want to get to 12, I need to multiply that by 2. 3, since I multiplied the bottom number by 2, I'd multiply the top number by 2, so then this becomes 6/12. There are so many different ways at Math Mountain. If you're a visual learner, maybe this would work better for you. If you're a symbolic learner, maybe this method would work better for you. Now, I have this cut into halves. What I actually want to do is I want to cut it into 12. So I'm just going to kind of copy the pattern here. I notice that I have this right here, and from 3 o'clock to 6 o'clock, so 1/4 of the circle, I have 3. So I'm gonna cut this into 3, gonna cut this into 3, gonna cut this into 3, cut this into 3. Look, now I have 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Perfect. And so instead of 1/2, I have 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6/12. So we can just really see visually how much of the circle is colored in, and symbolically that we can definitely rank these from biggest to smallest. So let me do that. So our biggest one we said was going to be 7/12. So I'm going to say 7/12. And that's how it's posed in the question. So that's how I want it in the answer. The next biggest one is going to be, oh no, I messed up. Sorry, did you catch that mistake that I made? I shouldn't have, yeah, sorry about that. The biggest one is going to be 8/12, but I don't want to write it as 8/12 because in the question it's 4/6. So I'm going to say 4/6. Then we have our 7/12. Oopsies. And then we have our next two that are equal. So I can say 1/2 and then 3/6. Or I can say 3/6 and then 1/2, no problem. The other way that I can get this, and this might be helpful in my next example too. You can write as a decimal and then just compare the decimals. Okay, so I'm just going to write down all my fractions. 1/2, 4/6, 7/12, and 3 over 6. So I'm going to get in my calculator. If I want to get this as a decimal, I would go 1, the numerator, divided by 2, which is going to be 0.5. Okay, and then if I wanted to get this into a decimal, 4 divided by 6, I'm going to get 0.66666 repeating. Or if I wanted to get really fancy, I could just say 0.6 with a line over top, just like we talked about in the first video. I am going to get my own calculator out for this one. I'm going to say 7 divided by 12. I get 0.583333. Or, again, I could get fancy, 0.583 with a little line on top. And then 3 over 6, I'm going to say, okay, 3, oh, I forgot to write this in, but it would just be 7 divided by 12. 3 divided by 6 is simply going to be 0.5. So, when I look at this one, 0.6 repeating is the biggest one out of all of them. So I know it's going to be 4 over 6. 4 over 6. And then my next biggest one here is going to be 0.583. But I don't want to write that. I want to write the decimal because I want to write the fraction because that's how it was posed in the question. So 7 over 12. And then these two fine folks are exactly the same. So I'm going to say 1/2 and then 3 over 6. They're equal. So whatever method you want to use, this method up here is going to really help you with adding and subtracting fractions. So if you can do this method, this one is going to be kind of the one that trains your brain the most for fractions. But this method also works really well. So if you're really comfortable with using calculators, this method could work.